What's up, YouTubers? This is a response to confused Matthew vid about what the hell happened to television. I'll tell you what happened. TV sucks. It's from bad writing and bad ideas. You just look at all the networks: CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, and oh my god, the CW. You can just clearly see that they've run out of ideas, and they just come from bad ideas and bad ideas from the suits in the office who decide to make a new show. Now, I'm gonna just do a quick breakdown of every network and be the judge for yourself. Now, ABC, they haven't had a good series in my opinion since NYPD Blue left the air. Desperate Housewives does not count as a good show. I mean, there's basically Sex in the Suburbs would be a better title for that series, as it is clearly a real ripoff of Sex in the City. Now, outside of that, any other show that ABC has clearly doesn't have any charm to me. I mean, it doesn't inspire me to sit down and to invest any time to watch their shows. Fox, well, there's a lot to say about Fox. Fox is notorious for canceling series that have a lot of potential, but for some reason, their superior wisdom decides to cancel these series. I don't understand. You just look at a show like Dark Angel, what could have been a really great action series, was shortly canceled because of the Friday night death slot, which a lot of these networks move their shows to when they want to cancel them. If that was the case, they probably want to cancel WWE SmackDown, which comes on Friday nights on the CW. And I don't want to talk about wrestling. That's look up Phil and Doug, Bill and Doug. I'm sorry. Look up their vids. They'll tell you all about that. Let's see what else Fox has done. Wonder Falls only had 2 episodes. They canceled it. K-ville, which is a really good cop show. I think it has a lot of potential. I'm afraid that's going to be out on its way out the door. And this writer strike is not helping at all. It's just like every Fox show does. They start off good, but for some reason they never follow through. And if they do follow through, they just beat it to death. It's like beating a dead horse with a rusty wooden board or something. Just like what they did to X-Files. X-Files was on too long, in my opinion. 24 is pushing it, really. House is okay for a doctor show, so it's really not that shocking. I don't even know why it said viewer discretion advised. I mean, no kid in their right mind wants to watch that. American Idol, I don't even want to talk about that fucking thing. NBC, the only shows on NBC that I really enjoy watching is My Name is Earl and Heroes. My Name is Earl is completely original for a show. For, a comedy series. Oh, I forgot to mention The Office, which is based on a British television series. Now, Heroes, I was shocked NBC decided to pick up Heroes because you rarely see science fiction TV shows these days on networks that are any good. Smallville doesn't count because Smallville stopped being good years ago. Heroes, basically, Heroes might be on its way out too. I mean, how long are they going to allow the creators to do what they do? I bet the special effects cost millions of dollars out the ass, and I think after a while Heroes might lose its charm, but I might just be being too harsh. CBS, well, CBS used to have JAG, and I used to enjoy watching that show, but JAG got canceled. NCIS is clearly Law and Order for the military, which is basically it is. The Unit, not that good. Ghost Whisperer is clearly a ripoff of a Fox show called True Calling, which they decided to cancel after 2 seasons. And Moonlight, I hate Moonlight. Moonlight is basically a ripoff of Angel if you really look at it. Vampire, private detective who's trying to make amends for all the bad stuff he's done. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And speaking of Angel, I thought Angel was a much better series than Buffy ever was, which speaks volumes about Joss Whedon's writing. And speaking of Joss Whedon, Fox should not have canceled Firefly. Firefly had a lot of potential for a series, but they decided to cancel it and didn't give it a chance. Now the CW is basically 2 bad networks merged into one. I'm glad Charmed left when it did, because I guess they didn't want to be tied with that network. And Girlfriends might be on its way out. Girlfriends stopped being good ever since Jill Marie Jones left the series, in my personal opinion. All the other shows, yeah, they can suck it. Smallville, it's not that good. Supernatural is pretty decent, which I was so shocked by. Let's see. I'm sorry, I didn't write this down. I'm just doing stream of consciousness ranting here. But I'm sorry, a lot of you are bobbing your heads and agree with me with some of these things. Oh yeah, Third Watch, which was the NBC series, should not have gotten canceled the way it did. Third Watch deserved a whole lot better than that, and it was actually a good show. But again, it was on Friday night, so what do you expect? They wanted to cancel that show. ER should have been gone a long time ago. Ever since all of the original cast members are no longer there, they should have canceled it. Another thing the CW is guilty for, and I'm sure Confused Matthew can agree with me, is that they had this show Star Trek Enterprise, which was not a Star Trek show, and I completely agree with him, and I'm not even a Star Trek fan like that. Now, I did watch Voyager as I was a kid, but I really couldn't get into it. I just thought I didn't like Star Trek as a whole, which is not true. I just thought it was just because Voyager sucked. Deep Space Nine I really didn't understand for a while. As far as sci-fi shows go, Stargate SG-1, Stargate SG-1 Atlantis, and Battlestar Galactica. I really love those shows. Now, The Simpsons, as far as The Simpsons go, The Simpsons is on its way out, but thankfully the creators of the show, they're going to go back to Futurama and start working on that. They're working on a direct-to-DVD movie as we speak, and hopefully when The Simpsons finishes its season this year, that maybe, hopefully if the fans get behind it, Futurama will be back on television, which I'm looking forward to. Family Guy, well, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Family Guy. It just marked the 100 episodes, which is pretty good considering the series was canceled and then renewed again and then canceled and then renewed again. I remember when it first came on, it was pretty funny, but I wondered why they canceled it. American Dad, I don't know what the hell that is. I mean, it's not funny at all to me. King of the Hill is doing pretty decent, all things considered. The fans got behind it and got it renewed for another season, which was pretty interesting. Now, many shows that left when they did, I'm glad they left at the time that they did. That 70s show started losing its charm ever since the Eric Foreman character left the series, which was pretty sad. I stopped watching it after that. Ugh. Now, one sitcom that I really did enjoy that shouldn't have got canceled was ABC's The George Lopez Show. And that was probably the funniest sitcom I've ever watched. And for some reason, they decided to cancel it, which is another thing that really grinds my shit, is how they have really good shows and decide to cancel them before the show really hits its peak. George Lopez was a really hot show, and I don't even see what the rationale was behind canceling it. Now it's kind of ironic that Friday is now called the death slot, considering that once upon a time ABC had a thing called TGIF. And I remember back when TGIF first started, when they had Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Step by Step, and Boy Meets World. And I guess now Friday nights means death. I guess that's why Moonlight and Ghost Whisperers on Friday nights. I'll be so happy when those shows get canceled. Most of the great series are on cable. Rescue Me, Nip Tuck, and The Shield are all on FX, which are some of my favorite TV series. MTV sucks, as does VH1, just because they show I Love New York and Flavor of Love. And well, for the most part, television does suck. And what's ironic is that TV is actually better than movies these days, which is also ironic. And that's basically my gripe. I have to wrap this up because I'm only allowed 10 minutes to make videos. And post your comments, and thanks for listening. And Confused Matthew, I just got one thing to say. You're on the ball. I think your show is going to be the next thing to take off. Well, that's it. Peace.